how I passed my FTMO challenge and verification of my 160,000 euro account. I'm gonna show you specifically my results, gonna guide you through how to do it by your own, as well as I'm gonna show you my trading strategy that I used for it, trade recaps, tips and tricks, and a full guideline on how to pass your next FTMO challenge. Let's go. My name is Darius and I'm already 6 years in this business, and I'm gonna guide you now through this entire video. Now, maybe you know me already and you know that I'm a profitable trader, but you realize now, wait a little bit, Darius has made already a video about how he got max funded with FTMO. What happened? Why is he doing now this video? Well, I've lost that funded account. This happened to me as well. The reason for that is very simple and easy. I went a little bit too emotional. I risked too much. I was too confident with the account. I tried to make more than I should, and at the end, it ended up to lose the account. This can happen very fast. Every professional trader knows that if you risk 2 to 3%, 10% of your account are gone in just a couple of trades. So this is literally what happened. I've lost the account very fast because I went too emotional with it. And yeah, as fast as I've lost it, the same speed I used now to bring it back up. And now I make this video right now to showcase you how I got it back. And I also have right now the other 160k in my verification phase. This one is not passed yet. Looking forward to finish that also in a bit. But for now in this video, I just want to talk about this and show you now a full guideline about it. Let's go. So friends, over here you can see my stats. This was the challenge phase from 0 till 16k profit. Went very fast, right? Only 8 trades needed. Here a comparison to my verification where I've lost the first 3 trades, and then it took me 15 trades to make that all back and to pass it. At the end you see it was not too much that I needed, like from the 0 stage, right? It was around again 8 trades. So you see, definitely I traded everything with risk management, with a plan and everything. And I'm gonna guide you through it step by step. Let's go. So I have here a few notes just for you to follow with me while I'm saying this. And yeah, the first thing is actually having the right mindset for passing a Propfirm. Most don't have one, and by myself sometimes I don't have, because it really depends right now on how much money you want to invest into the Propfirm space, right? Like for me, I'm ready to invest a lot because I think it's a very good thing to leverage your income in trading, not only relating to your personal account or just on one funded account, but you can actually split your risk a little bit, right? I've done that. My max funding so far was 2.2 million, and I just trade basically everything that exists. And yeah, so for me, probably my mindset is I'm a little bit more risky when it comes to taking those challenges. But now for you, if this is right now one of your first challenges, or if you want to finally pass one and you're not really consistent in passing them, I would recommend you to not be that aggressive, because the more risk you put on the table, the more emotional you will get, and the faster you will at the end blow the account. You got to understand that the markets, right, they're random every single day. It doesn't really matter how good your trading edge is. It can be perfect, right? And the moment when your trading edge is not perfect, the loss is gonna come, right? And if that loss is 2% or 3% or 4%, is something that you can decide up front. So it's basically the only thing you know before you enter in a trade is how much loss you will have on it, right? Because you can also put a take profit level to pass it in one trade, but is that really realistic? Will this really happen? Or will you at the end close it before, right? So use this as your advantage, to use a fixed stop loss every single time, and if possible also to use a fixed TP. So I would recommend you to use there a good risk to reward ratio, right? A risk reward ratio which is good, such as 1 to 2 or 1 to 3, is gonna help you no matter how low your win rate is gonna be. Of course, if it's super low, you can't be profitable with it anymore, but then you should search for a different trading edge. For everyone who doesn't have a good strategy yet, or you are not satisfied with it, check out the link down below. I have right now a free trial to my inner circle where you can check out how we trade. And trust me, the edge over there is perfectly good working for gold. You can use it on any instruments as well. And I'm also giving you signals every day on the trades that I'm looking to take. All right. With that being said, let's go. The right mindset for it is actually that you should actually trade it like you are funded, right? Because would you trade a funded account very, very aggressively? I guess you will not. You will like be one where chilled, maybe using 1%, 0.5%. This is what I recommend for you as well, right? Especially if you are not consistent yet. If you're more consistent and for you passing challenges right now not the biggest deal anymore, of course you can use between 1 to 2%. But even then, using 3% is too risky, right? I did that and I paid the bill for it because I've lost it, right? And I had to buy another one. So don't rush, take your time. FTMO gives you actually no time restrictions, and anyway, any other prop firms nowadays as well. So try to use that. So consistency, not speed, is your goal. All right. Then next one, I'm using ICT Concepts, right, and SMC Concepts. So for me, it's more important to focus on my trading edge and to focus on A+ setups only, right? So for me, what I'm looking for is the entire time for liquidity, for market structure shifts, fair value gaps, my daily bias, 4-hour bias, and so on, and to trade overall the higher time frame. This is something which I can guide you on because you need your own trading strategy, right, in order to pass it by your own at the end. If you want to do it with me, you gotta join the inner circle. Then I can actually teach you everything on how I trade, basically. But these are like the few things that I look on every single time. Inducements, manipulations, stuff like this, and I try to focus there on A+ setups only. Very important for me. I don't want to actually trade C setups, right? C setups are those ones who are gonna actually lose. So for me, I always put it like this. When I take a trade, there are only 3 potential setups. The first one is A+. This is the one where I like everything which I want to follow, the one which will then more than likely result in a win, right? Every single time. So how my strategy works, right? If I follow everything correctly, it's gonna be a winning trade. So check, all right? Then there are the C setups, right? The C setups are those ones, if I choose this one, it's not gonna work, right? And usually I should know that the C setups, like what a C setup is. So I should decide already to not take it. The trickier ones are the B setups. The B setups are this one where I don't know the outcome, right? They look like A+, but they are hidden C's, right? Sometimes they're A+, but you don't know. So over here, what will prevent you to lose those ones is basically time. So you just let time go by, and then actually you can see if they are A+ or if they are C setups, right? It's like you don't have a clean view of something, and then or something is very dirty, so you can then actually rubbish it a little bit, and after you've done this for a while, then you will see the picture. And that's kind of how I view the financial markets the entire time. If you have this simple layer over it, it's gonna be for you very easy to filter out what you have to do or what you shouldn't do. All right, it's basically that easy. Yeah, use 0.5% to 1%, right? Whatever you prefer, and put yourself a max daily loss, right? FTMO allows you 5%, and many prop firms as well, but stay conservative. Try to not come all the way to the 5%. The thing is, if you lose 5% in a day, right, or below that, your emotions are gonna be destroyed. Like, you don't wanna trade anymore. You will do only stupid things. So basically, in order for you to come to such a big drawdown, either you risk 5% on that one trade, or you took 5 trades in a row without really thinking analytic, right? Because once you take a loss, your mind goes crazy. You are in a survival mode, right? Which is fine, right? In the nature, you gotta be on a survival mode. You gotta do whatever it takes in order to survive, right? And it's not things that you would normally do. But in trading, if you wanna, like, if you come in the survival mode and you try to actually protect your setup, and that means basically accepting more and more losses, that is not gonna help you. It's exactly the opposite that you have to do as a professional trader. You gotta be able to cut your losses. And sometimes we are in that survival mode and we don't wanna give up on that one trade. So it's important to use a fixed stop loss. And the best thing is to use those rules, 0.5 to 1%. And if you then reach 2% loss for the day, because let's say you take then another trade and you've lost that one as well, it's better for you to stop. Let me explain you why. If you lost, you are in the revenge trading mode. The revenge trading mode is not gonna give you a favor. It's gonna make you a favor. It's gonna actually work against you. So you have to find a solution how to overcome that. And you can do that only by yourself if you limit yourself for a daily loss, right? And that daily loss should not be the one from the Propfirm challenges, because the Propfirm rules are actually designed for you to fail, right? They're not here to protect you. They're designed to make you to fail. So you think, all right, 5% is what I can lose in a day. So as long as I don't lose more than that, everything is fine. But it's terrible for you, because if you're 5% down, in order to come out of it, it requires much more skill than trading it from 0 till the 10% profit target. So think about that for a moment, right? It doesn't make any sense. So you should actually have your own rules in place. And this is the rule that I can give you on your way. Use 2%, that's it. I would even recommend you to accept only one loss per day. It's better for your emotions, trust me. If you've lost already at that day one trade, normally you're not so good anymore. Normally you are not gonna think analytic anymore. You gotta actually understand your losses, you gotta understand the markets, you gotta fulfill your trading edge. But if you've lost, you will be blind to the markets very often. Have you ever experienced that? I think you did. That you take trades, you lose them. Afterwards, you check our charts and you are like, oh damn, I knew it. Why have I done that? Why am I so stupid? And the reason because you're in that survival mode. So you gotta actually have already the set of rules in place before you act and take trades and then let room for your emotion. You have to limit that space. And you can only do that with those rules. So the rules I'm telling you right now, take notes of them and follow them on the next Propfirm challenge that you take. And you will see how successful you're gonna be. All right. And then here, the drawdown and so on, like, yeah, not important. Proper risk plan, more chances to pass, 100%. All right, then the next thing, trading psychology. Trading psychology, staying disciplined. So stick to your plan, don't chase trades, very important. If you don't know, hey, is it an A+, is it a B, is it a C? Just skip that day, skip that session, skip that week. Sometimes, depending on your trading edge, it's sometimes very hard to figure that out. So it's better for you to actually stay out of the trades, so you can actually avoid a lot of confusion, all right? Take breaks after losses, don't revenge trade. I know it's hard, but you have to do it. You have to figure out a solution. Go to the gym, go eat something, do something else, do back testing, right? Every day is a chance. Multiple chances in reality. You just need to take advantage of one of it with a positive risk reward, and you will be the winner. All right? Then, treat it like a real account, not a challenge. Very important. If you treat it like a challenge, then it's demo, then it's nothing worth. The small money you had to pay for it is nothing worth. So, yeah. Avoid over trading and revenge trading, ignoring risk management. You should not do that, right? Follow it. Changing strategies is something many does, right? Like also the bias sometimes. It's not so good to change bias while you are in a trade, because the market has a nature that it's actually at the end trying to trick you. Sometimes it's obvious, right? Sometimes the opposite side of the market provides you the rules, and then you know, right, you are actually right now destroyed because it's gonna run against you. So you can then of course minimize your losses, accept the losses, which is the hardest part for most traders. This is why a stop loss is so important, that the stop loss is protecting you and you don't have to be rational at a moment where you can't be it anymore because you are in the survival mode. So it's an interesting point here, because you have to actually decide by your own if you want to change your bias during the trade. Usually for me, when I change bias, it's not so good. Usually I make then the wrong decisions. Happened to me yesterday, for instance. I changed my bias and then I've lost the trade, unfortunately. But yeah, it's part of it. Then forcing trades when the market isn't ideal. This is a point many do. I don't know why we're doing that. It's like, again, we're in a survival mode. It seems like we have no food on the table, so we have to do very crazy things in order to get that. But more than likely, I would say it's something because you can see the future, right? Like you think of, okay, today is a new day, I'm supposed to take a trade. But no, it's not like going to a 9 to 5 job where you have to show up every day and to be there and to work from 9 till 5. And trading is more than likely like this. You have the ability to trade every day, but not every day is going to be a perfect setup for you. So you should not trade every day. You should be able to know when to skip and when to not. And this is a skill you have to develop over time. All right, and then the final advice is passing is about having a plan and executing it consistently. Very important. Trading edge plus risk management plus discipline is equal to success. All right. And if you follow this, you will drastically improve your chances of passing. 100%. If you have a proven trading edge, there's no way you can pass. And this is the last thing. Take responsibility for everything, right? Most people, especially nowadays, everyone wants to make someone else responsible for their own mistakes. And in trading, if you start doing that, if you start actually chasing the market, if you try to actually make the market responsible for the movements it did and say, oh, market moved today very strong, manipulative, and blah, 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 this is not going to make you better, right? The market is neutral. You are the variable you have influence on, so you have to change, right? If you've lost your account, your challenge, or whatsoever, or if you've lost that trade, it's your fault. Figure out why you've lost that trade. Normally, everyone knows the answer right afterwards, right? They all know that. It's just because you are in the survival mode, and during that phase, you are actually not a good trader anymore. You should actually have everything in place. For instance, before you take the trade, before you've seen where it's moving, you make your idea, you put stop loss TP, and then you just set and forget, kind of, right? I'm a trader who likes to see the reactions and to close trades earlier based on that, or to confirm based on that. That's a different thing, right? But basically, your overall idea should not change. Since I'm doing that I follow my bias that I have, and I only trade it if it's following that bias that I have, I catch a lot of A+ setups. And this is why my win rate is typically very, very high. All right. So this have been the metrics, right? Was quite good, right? Also here the trades. Here on the challenge, you see quite big trades that was taken over there in order to pass it. Big percentages. You see, yeah, I think the lot size have not been too big. I can't remember specifically. Here 5, 6, 4 lots, not too crazy, right? You see here the average profits. So it was good. It was a couple of trades per day sometimes, just because I've seen the setups, was playing very good. The other one was not so good. Here I failed a couple of them. You see the first day was massively stupid from my point of view. But you see I made it back the next day, and then I just passed it as well. So yeah, not too many days that I needed to really pass it at the end. Because I know how my setups look like. You see here also risk management was done. 4K, 3K, small loss here, and then boom, 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 making only profits back up, and everything worked out pretty fine at the end. All right. And now I just want to show you one of my trades that I took personally in order to pass this challenge, which was here along from 82 till 92. So it was a 100 pip trade, which I usually always kind of target. And I traded here even news. Like with the FTMO challenge verification, you're allowed to trade news. When you're on the funded stage, you're not allowed to do that. So keep that in mind. I did that in this case because it was still valid to take so. For me, very basic and simple. I had a bullish bias, right? This is for me very important to understand my bias for the day. Bullish bias based on the higher time frame. I mean, you see that we had here overall, right? You can clearly see this, right? This is a bullish order flow that you have. Now what happens here? This is an inducement, which means it takes liquidity, and after it took this liquidity, it reversed, right? So you're again back on the bullish train now. And all I was looking for here is just to get into it, right? Like to take the buys. I can also show you quickly like the 4 hours and so on, so you can better have a view about it on what I was trying to trade here. So basically, we had an overall bullish market, right? Then we had this massive drop down lower, which most of the traders view this as a new trend change, reversal, whatsoever. For me, it was actually something where I knew price has to come above it, right? I knew that this is actually just a liquidity for the future. So I tried to actually take long into it, right? This was my entire idea behind it, and I wanted to follow that. And also I liked on how everything was responsive, bullish over here. You can clearly see here we took internal liquidity to take external liquidity. So all I wanted to see also here is like the price to come up higher and higher and higher and higher. And that's exactly what it did, right? You see it took here also here some Asia liquidity and so on. And on the hourly, you've seen a big bullish impulsive movement to the upside, and I just tried to follow that. Yes, it left over some imbalances, which you see later on price comes afterwards to fill it, but then also pushing up higher, right? So I knew that this can happen. This is also why I closed here at the top and I was not holding for the external, because important to know is that once price hits at trap areas like this is exactly what it can do, like induce you one more time. This is a classic inducement, right? People believe it's switching now from a bullish market to a bearish market, and that is not true. It's actually just gonna fulfill the bullish market the entire time, and it's gonna follow that. So for me, very basic and simple, the way and how I took the trade was also based on a form of inducement. So you see me, I use inducement a lot. I love them. It's basically people get tricked on both sides. So you have a bullish market, right? People are looking to buy, but then they get this break of structure, very aggressive push down. For me, this is my entry. I took here the entry, stop loss below, and then I went into this long, right? And then price, yeah, it takes out again the people who've been shorting, right? The people who've been buying gets taken out by this move down because they try to protect over here their setup. And then you see price consolidated, providing a ton of equal highs, and then the market just pumped all the way up higher, all the way here, right? Initially, this should have been my target, a little bit higher, right? Boom, closed a little bit before that. Everything was fine, and that was my setup. If you're interested in joining us, guys, hey, the link is down below. Free trial for you right now, and see you in a new video.